Hello, thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show. The art of football as the World Cup kicks off in Russia. We're looking at the beautiful game through art and music. And I'm joined in the studio by France 24's François Wibaux. François, hello.
Hi, Eve.
What comes to mind when we say football and music?
So, as a French guy who grew up during the 1998 World Cup in France, I'm obviously going to be a little bit biased when it comes to songs that really impacted football. So that year, the official song was The Cup of Life by Ricky Martin, which, don't get me wrong, it's a great song, but the one that really rocked French fans was this one.
That is, of course, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
Yes, it's a 70s disco hit about a woman who gets dumped and then realizes she can actually get by just fine without her man. There are competing origin stories as to how this became the unofficial French anthem, but to this day, it symbolizes victory, winning their first World Cup at home nonetheless, parading down the Champs-Élysées, and of course Jacques Chirac with a big grin on his face and a French scarf around his neck. To this day, French fans still go completely nuts when they hear that song, though granted, they only know the first line of the chorus, and then they just sort of shout through the melody the rest of the time.
Okay, well, enough about the French team's glory days. What about the other World Cups since then?
Well, there have been some huge hits and some more forgettable songs. Germany in 2006 was a bit of a weird one because it's not so much a song that exemplified the World Cup, it was more just an epic bass riff from the White Stripes' iconic Seven Nation Army. The Italian fans heard it, loved it, ran with it, and many of them actually didn't know the lyrics or even the artist who made the song, but they just sang through the melody, and it eventually led them to victory, after which they switched the lyrics to Campioni del Mundo, champions of the world, and now it's just become a sort of general celebration song whenever any team scores a goal or wins. You hear it all over the world.
Everyone remembers Shakira's Waka Waka from 2010.
Of course, how could you not? It was ubiquitous throughout the whole competition when the World Cup was held in South Africa in 2010. And it was even successful afterwards and stayed at the top of the charts for several weeks after the last match had been played. But there was a bit of a controversy because a lot of people believe for the first World Cup in Africa, it should really have been an African singer singing that song. Canaan's Waving Flag was also a massive hit during that World Cup. Though it wasn't actually an official World Cup anthem, it was just a song that was featured in the Coca-Cola ad campaign during that season. But both of these excellent songs were, to a certain degree, drowned out by what many identify as the defining sound of the South African World Cup.
That noise is so annoying.
Absolutely. It was an annoying droning noise that drove TV fans completely nuts because they couldn't hear anything what was going on the field or even the commentators. You compare this to 2014 when the World Cup was held in Brazil, and it was a bit of an off year for World Cup songs. Both of the anthems were heavily influenced by samba beats and had carnival whistles throughout, but they didn't really have any staying power. In fact, I listened to them this morning, and I still can't even remember the tune, and I reckon if you ask most of your friends, they probably don't remember it either, and it was a few years ago.
Absolutely no idea. What about the songs this year, then? Any promising ones?
So this year, the official song is called Live It Up. It's a collaboration between a number of different artists, including the American DJ Diplo and the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith. Let's take a listen.
One life, one dream, one moment, one team, one you, lights hot, 1,000 roadblocks, one shot, one truth, no fears, one flag. Oh yeah, we've been waiting for this. Oh yeah, we all at? We right here. Ya empezó la rumba y estamos celebrando. Todo el mundo que me levante la mano.
So, Eve, I don't know what you think, but so far, despite its name, the song doesn't really live up to people's expectations. The reception has been lukewarm at best, but the competition's just kicking off, so we're going to be hearing it absolutely everywhere. Either fans all embrace it and warm up to it, or they might actually get very, very sick of it. Russia's national football song this year is called United by Love, and should also get quite a bit of airtime, provided the host nation actually stays in the competition, which, according to my modest opinion and bookies, isn't super, super likely.
Well, let's hope they're staying, because I've actually just got Russia in our sweepstake competition.
Well, I got Argentina, so I think my odds might be a little bit better than yours. But, I mean, we're all excited, sweepstakes aside, to see who actually wins the competition itself. But I'm a little bit curious to see, when we look back in a few years, to see which song, if any actually, really embodies the World Cup 2018 in Russia.
Okay, well, let's move on to video games now. Are you a fan of video games?
Yeah, absolutely. Although I didn't really play the FIFA version. I played more the Pro Evolution Soccer, which was a sort of competing title.
Okay, well, the world's biggest football video game has received a huge update, which is available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch and PC. EA's FIFA Soccer video game series free update will include all the teams, players, jerseys, balls and stadiums from the 2018 World Cup tournament. Take a look. Dare I ask who you're supporting this year?
I mean, obviously France. That just goes without saying.
What about any predictions, though? Do you think they're going to do well?
I mean, I hope so. They're one of the favourites, but I filled out my own bracket, which said that Spain would win, so we'll see.
Okay, well, the video game, and we just saw there, the company behind that, EA, has successfully predicted the winners of the last World Cup tournaments. And this year, they say the champions will actually be France.
Nice.
Who will beat Germany in the final.
That would be great.
That would be great for all of us. Well, marking 20 years since France won the World Cup, 35 artists are showing their photos, sculptures, paintings and more to celebrate the beautiful game on the occasion of the World Cup in a massive new art space just outside Paris. The exhibition For the Love of the Game is taking place at Le Magasin Généreux. Hoping to attract families, art lovers and footy fans, it's on until August in Pantin, in the suburbs of Paris. Robert Sutton-Mattox reports.
The Hand of Maradona, sculpted by the American Hank Willis Thomas. The former Cameroonian star player Roger Miller, designed by the Zimbabwean artist Gareth Nyandoro. Or The Injured Footballer, a work by the Frenchman Pierre and Gilles. 38 recognised and emerging artists from around the world, looking at football as a major social phenomenon.
Each one of them with their own eyes, their own story, their own artistic discipline, highlights a different facet of football. Football and religion, football and politics, football and women, football and money, football and the sheer joy of playing, the social bond. We have with these 38 artists and all these works a sort of social and societal reflection of the last 20 years.
20 years after the crowning of Les Bleus at the 1998 World Cup, the exhibition explores the evolution of football, which has become more than just a sport. The king of games, an inspiration for artists, a unifying force for the public.
98 was a moment of tremendous unity. I was 7 years old at the time, but I'll never forget it. It's one of those moments that every French person has in their memory. Everyone remembers what they were doing on the day of the final in 98.
Spread over 1,000 square metres, the exhibition was made possible with the support and loans from cultural institutions, art galleries and international private collections. Conceived as a creative agora, it aims to be a catalyst for meetings and reflection between the creators and the public.
I often walk around this area and I'm a massive football fan. When I saw that there was going to be an exhibition that covered both football and art, even if I don't know much about art, I wanted to check it out.
My boyfriend loves football, and culturally it's interesting to take a look.
Football is a popular sport. It's a way for people to interact with each other.
The exhibition expands outside across 2,000 square metres of urban space, with areas to relax, eat and drink, and entertainment along the Canal de l'Orgue. A kind of outdoor festival with a programme of performances, screenings, workshops, street football, table football, concerts and giant screens to broadcast matches of the 2018 World Cup in Russia.
And a reminder, that exhibition is on until August at Les Magasins Généraux in Pantin in the suburbs of Paris. Now we're going to end the show in Liverpool in the UK, where a festival of culture surrounding football is taking place to coincide with the World Cup, François.
Yes, so 3 major exhibitions, a pop-up cinema and a music festival, as well as a community football parade, form the Art of Football season. It pays tribute to football's unique capacity to cross boundaries as well as explore football fan culture. Here's a taster of one of the exhibitions called Common Ground that's on at Albert Dock, Liverpool until July. It's 4 decades of football fan culture in photographs from Tom Wood, Ken Grant and Tabitha Jusser.
And we're going to leave you with that. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.